So by now I think you lot have already heard about the Yamaha R9, which is Yamaha's brand new, they don't call it, but I'd call it probably Super Sport. I haven't really looked at it yet, but now I'm just going to have a look, see what it's all about. And I know that what you're probably thinking, that's just an MT-09 with fairings, but I'm not exactly sure. I mean, straight away, I think the engine is an MT-09, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. From what I've heard, I think the front and rear sprockets are different, because as you guess, to achieve a high top speed. And if we just have a look at the MT-09, if you just take a look, the swing arm is pretty similar. I mean, you know, it's got that sort of silver, but here it's like a black matte sort of thing. And also, I don't know why, I think it's just me, but some bikes from Yamaha, they have this like vent thing. I don't know, I think it looks sick. And I mean, there's also have winglets, which is like kind of cool. I mean, bodywork wise, it does look like an R6. The wheels do look like an R6, I think. They're probably similar, and in general the bodywork is like an R7 probably, minus the winglets. Which reason for that is probably just compatibility. So, well, obviously it's easier for Yamaha to produce more of the fairings, but also if you own an R7 or whatever, it would just be easier because the parts are interchangeable. And also a huge plus of this is, as you can see, this bike also has Brembo stemlevers, which in my opinion is such a huge upgrade compared to, for example, the R1 or the R7 or pretty much all the bikes, MT-09, all of these. Actually, never mind, not the MT-09, but it's like a lot of the bikes, the old OEM Yamaha brakes are kind of bad, honestly, especially the brake pads. They're very like woody, and they're just not good. It's like, especially like an R1, it's like 100% the first thing that I'd upgrade. Like, I would not want to keep the OEM brakes. Also, I believe that this bike has a quick shifter and auto blip, which is really nice. Something that I definitely look for if I'm trying to buy it. Yeah, also I do kind of find it funny how they say that the frame is, I mean, it is a redesigned frame, don't get me wrong. But it's just funny how it says that it's the lightest aluminium frame, which I mean, like, yeah, sure, but it's probably like a pound or two lighter, which I mean, it's not like huge. But another thing is that the gravity cast aluminium, like, it's nothing special. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of frames are made like that, where you just like pour the liquid metal into the mold, and then basically gravity does the work for you. And well, it can be lighter because there's not as much welds. Therefore, you can technically have like a solid like piece. You don't have a bunch of metal pieces that are stuck together, which is like pretty nice. Yeah, here we go, the brakes that we all love. How do I go here? Alright, here we go. Yeah, KYV, I mean, just because a bike doesn't have the newest Öhlins electronic suspension doesn't make it bad. It's pretty nice. Another thing, this bike, the electronics are actually pretty good. I believe it's got 6-axis IMU. And like, some of the things, I mean, if you're not into the electronics, you can just turn it off. It is just super nice. I mean, what's it got? Like launch control, traction control, I'm assuming. Again, guys, I don't really know much about these bikes. That's the thing. Like, I kind of just making my first thoughts on it. And the thing is that it does look like pretty good from what I think. And again, like power wise, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I'm not sure exactly on it. So what we have, about 120 horsepower, which is expectable. I mean, 93 newton meters of torque. Am I saying it right? That's impressive. Do you know what I mean? I mean, especially for how much this bike costs. What is it, like 12 grand? Yeah, 12 and a quarter pounds. This is British pounds. Like, you know, this bike, it's a good value. Like, if you look at something else, for example, like a Pro RS 660, you know, it's got, I don't know, like what, like 16, 17 newton meters of torque. I mean, like, this bike will easily, like, smoke it in a straight line. I mean, here's the thing with like, a lot of people, like, they just look at horsepower as the only metric, which it's important, but how I would look at it more is that horsepower kind of sells the bikes, but torque wins races. Because Like, you can have a lot of horsepower, it's great, but if you've not got a good torque, then I mean, what's the point, really? I do get why people would hate this bike, because it is, like, at first glance, it is just an MT-09 with fairings, but the more you discover about it, it's just a completely different bike than this. But for me, personally, I used to really like the sort of hyper naked style bikes. I would always think, like, well, they're comfortable. You can commute on them, do wheelies, but you can also go fast. Like, they are pretty nice. I mean, they look like pretty sick as well. But honestly, like, I'm starting to think that if you do want a more comfortable bike, then why not just get something like this? Instead of clip-ons, just put normal bars. I mean, for me, that's just a better alternative, because it's like, it's mainly the gearing. There's not much you can do about the gearing, which, like, here the ratio has been changed so you can reach faster top speeds. But if you know anything about the MT-09, then this bike is also a torque monster. I mean, yeah, exactly, 93. Like, it's performance wise, it's so good. Like, you don't necessarily get the highest horsepower, but torque wise, it's up there. But overall, my speculation is that the reason why Yamaha have made this bike is because what they're planning to do is to potentially, well, not replace the R6. I reckon the R6 will still be here. I mean, I don't think the R6 is going to come back with a street variant. I doubt it now. But what I think will happen is that Yamaha are planning probably to potentially use the R9 to replace the R1 at the moment, and then either kind of like renew the R1 or potentially get rid of it. And I mean, I doubt they'll get rid of it. They'll probably just renew it, but potentially put a V4 in the R1 and change it from the inline 4. I don't know. Honestly, don't know though. Like, I'm just like a kid that doesn't know what I'm on about. Like, I don't even have a license. But yeah, I mean, like with the V4, like you do get like a very, very linear power delivery, and like V4s are such torque monsters. Like, you just get loads of torque with them, and like, in my opinion, like, this, like, surely they'll do that. I mean, just take a look at this R6. Like, it's beautiful. I love the black, the gold forks. It does look so nice. But yeah, I mean, overall, I do kind of see why people wouldn't like the R9. I mean, it is kind of like an MT-09 with fairings, but the thing is that it does have like quite a lot of changes. Like, electronics wise, it's better. Suspension is obviously a lot different. Gear ratio, you know, brakes are really nice. I mean, it's a good bike. You know, the power that you get and everything. I mean, you know, for 12 grand, like, you know, it's a pretty good price. But yeah, anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Please, guys, please help me out to get a bike when I get my license. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe.